achievement gap. At school, lack of rigor is the number one variable, according to research, that contributes to the achievement gap. And lack of rigor is fundamentally about teacher expectations. Even if you have solid curriculum on paper, the school district has done a lot, spent a lot of money and a lot of time designing its curriculum. When it's actually implemented, that's when it matters. So if you're a teacher who has low expectations for children who live in poverty or low expectations for culturally diverse students, then you will deliver low quality instruction.
Expectations matter. I remember once when I was speaking with Wes and we said, are we products of our environment? And he looked back at me and he said, actually, I think we're products of our expectations. And I thought to myself, he's absolutely right. Because the expectations that people have of themselves, they aren't born from nowhere. And I know that education matters. Education matters, and it's not just about what we're learning, but it's also about who we're learning it from and who we're learning it with.
And the thinking that I'm trying to change is what we call deficit thinking. Deficit thinking is having low expectations for someone, or to give a more acute perspective on it, deficit thinking is the less we know about somebody, the more we make up. So I spend a lot of
I immediately call attention to the problem of the unequal distribution of resources. Or if you want to be fancy about it, you can talk about unequal access to the forms of capital that support educational achievement.
Many studies and statistics show there is a widening chasm that does not permit equitable education for children of various racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic backgrounds.
Yet and still, we believe that sameness produces equitable outcomes. For so long, we have been throwing the same amount of resources into schools and school programs and expecting that that will provide equal access to opportunities. And it just doesn't work that way.
When you take unstandardized children from unstandardized backgrounds and unstandardized systems and give them a standardized test to determine their future, you can either determine that we have lost our mind and we're just too stupid to understand what it is we're doing. My goodness, why would we do that? Sounds so ridiculous. Or you can conclude that there's something about that that's quite deliberate. Will you?
Of kids. And we frame it as achievement gap issues, and there are ways that it really matters as a gap, but it also matters as a level. Okay, we don't want to narrow gaps by holding any group back, because if we're going to be internationally competitive, we got to have our best kids have to be equal or better than the best any place in the world. But we just got to pull the bottom up faster than the top rises without holding the top back is the challenge that we face.
So rather than focusing on telling people to catch up, I think we have to talk about how we will begin to pay down the mountain of debt that we have amassed at the expense of entire groups of people and their subsequent generations.
Charter schools are public schools that enjoy greater flexibility in their curricula and instruction in exchange for higher accountability. This allows schools like PS7 in Sacramento, Kip Bridge in Oakland, and Watts Learning Center in Los Angeles to do what's in the best interest of their students.